all of you. Dear researchers, we are at the 9th research launch with a discussable and timely topic. As researchers, we should be aware of how fast the world is changing. Without knowing that, without those updates, without getting the latest technology improvement, how can we see where the scientific frontiers are moving towards? ChatGPT. What is the right time to see who is devil is? Let's find out if it's as bad as some people think. Or is this a helpful guide to us? If so, what extent? Can we use ChatGPT for our research, especially for the journal preparation? If so, how can we make use of it in our best interest? This research forum is yours will discuss. So, today's theme is use of ChatGPT for journal paper preparation or go high. Dear researchers, today also after the talk of the expert, the discussion will commence. Be ready to take part in that. So, let me open today's research launch by introducing our resource persons. Professor Mahesh Jayavira obtained BSc in Civil Engineering from University of Moratuwa and PhD in Environmental Engineering from Saitama University, Japan, and carried out collaborative work with more than 10 countries. He at present works as a professor in Environmental Engineering at the University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka. He is a chartered engineer, a member of the Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka, a member of the Institute of Environmental Professionals Sri Lanka, International Water Association, and a life member of Sri Lanka Association for Advancement of Science. His areas of expertise are environmental appraisals, environmental impact assessment, environmental due diligence, environmental pollution control, wastewater engineering, solid waste management, and noise and vibration control. And he has been engaged in such discipline for more than 30 years. Until recently, he worked as an advisor on environmental related work for the Ministry of Metropolitan Western Development, Sri Lanka. He has undertaken more than 100 assignments in relation to the above mentioned areas. He has experience in similar works funded by ADB, AFD, JBIC, and World Bank. He has carried out research in diverse areas and published more than 70 journal and conference papers. Ms. Gayatri De Silva received BSc degree in Chemical and Process Engineering from University of Moratuwa in 2007 and obtained MSc degree in Sustainable Process Development from University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka in 2011. She is a PhD student in the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering at the same university. From 2008 to 2010, she worked as a research officer, chemical engineering, for the Sugarcane Research Institute, Uduvalari, Sri Lanka. She joined Industrial Technology Institute, Colombo, Sri Lanka in 2010 as a research engineer for the food technology section and currently working in the area of food process engineering. Dear researchers, today also after the expert talk, discussion will come in. So, dear sir, research launch is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naini. All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of you. And today my exercise is basically to share my ideas and my experience of using ChatGPT in the process of journal paper preparation. And again, I just want to mention you that it's up to you to decide whether it is going to be a hope or hype. And when you use this ChatGPT, it's very important for you to demystify certain aspects of ChatGPT for better delivery. So therefore, let us see what ChatGPT is. Basically, ChatGPT is a conversational language model. So usually we call large language model developed by the company called OpenAI. And this is basically based on AI techniques called deep learning, or sometimes you would have heard the word artificial neural network. So there is a special format, a special type of artificial neural network we call transformer, which is the most advanced version of ANN used by OpenAI company to come out with ChatGPT. Now, when you say ChatGPT, it's a kind of a tool, AI tool, or we usually call chat bot, where you can be able to ask any sort of questions. And then ChatGPT gives you the answer based on training what it has done or it will do based on the literature or depository in the internet only up to 2021, but no data, recent data after 2021 is referred to by the ChatGPT. So therefore, all the information that you're going to get from the ChatGPT are based on ones which are published or maybe appearing in the internet only up to 2021. So therefore, that is something that you should be able to know. And then what we do is, this is basically invented by the company OpenAI. Part of the shares or the major shares belongs to Elon Musk. And what he says is ChatGPT is very good. We are not far from dangerously strong AI. Or in other words, what he says is going to develop something which can do anything that the human brain can do. So they are now trying to simulate some conditions. So whatever said and done, it is important for us to use these tools effectively and efficiently, keeping in mind that it might give you something wrong answer. So therefore, blindly, you are not in a position to use ChatGPT. So therefore, we have to be mindful whenever we use ChatGPT. Why ChatGPT is good at journal paper writing? So that is our topic today. So most of us are very interested in writing papers. And it says ChatGPT is not specifically trained for journal paper writing, but it can still generate text that is relevant to a given prompt based on its training data. Now, what do you mean by the prompt is that is the technical word usually we give you what you type. So therefore, as I mentioned, since this is an AI tool, what it does is you basically type certain, let's say, question or maybe a couple of words, and then the chat bot remembers or keeps remembering what you type, which is usually called the prompt. And this science is recently developed in great deals, which we call prompt engineering. So in other words, whatever you give to a certain tool, AI model, so model tries to remember what you give, but not only that, with different combination of words. Let's say you have asked a question which comprises 10 words. So what AI tool is going to do is that they will remember as 10 words, and then with whatever the keywords in your question, they will try to put into different combinations. So therefore in ANN model, so those who know about the ANN modeling might understand that they generate hidden layers. They generate hidden layers. So your input data would be what you give. That is your prompt, right? Whatever the question you ask. So keeping that in mind, this model generates a lot of hidden layers in which they create their own inputs based on your prompt. So ultimately, keeping all your combinations intact, it will give you the output, which is basically not going to miss a single word or keyword or phrase or maybe combination of words that you have given. That is how they remember. And another important aspects of this tool is that it can remember all the previous prompts that you have input. So therefore, as long as your session is on, you don't want to type the questions again and again and again. What you have typed previously, this AI bot can remember. So therefore, as you go along asking questions, you can shorten your questions without any clarity reduction. So therefore, that is why the training is very important. Training is important. Now, you know that these days, ChatGPT is free, though the premium version is also available. So that is monthly rental would be $20. But still, you can be able to work with this free version. Why? Because the developers are going to make use of your data, whatever your prompts, and then they're going to refine the whatever their database using what you ask for. Then only it is going to be very successful. Right? So in say for example, if somebody is working on IT, let's say cyber security, so there may be many people asking questions about cyber security. So then what the company is going to do is that they will be strengthening the all the information data that are relevant to cyber security. So therefore, this period would be a period during which the model developers train their, the model further so that the clarity would be enhanced. So therefore, remember, they have not given us free for nothing. They have been using your information, whatever the prompts that you have put in, so that they will be able to train the model much precise way, also that your output would be much better. There is a myth. Some says that when you enter into this one, so they will, pick up all your the personal data through your email, which is not possible at all. So therefore, you have to debunk that myth. Remember, they cannot get your personal information, but they can get every question you ask. That is usually we call prompt. So all the prompts that you entered, ever starting from the very first date until today, they can remember who has asked these questions, why they have asked these questions, all they can be able to analyze very easily. So therefore, that is very much possible. So therefore, remember, know your personal data will be acquired, but all what you entered as prompt could be basically in fact extracted by the company. But remember, using the ChatGPT, there are two areas that you can work. Number one is astrology. Shastra ahanda baya meke. Right? So if you ask anything, it doesn't give anything. And also pornography. You can't ask anything, any information with regards to pornography. These two areas are not basically done with the ChatGPT, but other than these two areas of specializations, any other area that you are in mind could be, ironed out using ChatGPT. What is the best art of writing a journal article with ChatGPT? To write a journal article using ChatGPT, it is best to use the following process. This is what is most important. You got to remember how you ask. First, it says clearly define the research question or the problem you want to address in this paper. Very, very obvious. If you do not know your problem that you are going to address through paper, so there is no research paper. Number two says provide a clear and concise prompt to GPT outlining the key element that you should be included in the article, such as the research question, methodology, results, and conclusions. So everybody knows all of these. So we go one section by one section. If you ask ChatGPT, please give me the paper or journal paper or scientific manuscript on given your title, it never gives you. So therefore, you have to divide these into sections and you go section by section so that only you will be getting something useful. Number three says review and edit the output generated by ChatGPT to ensure that it is coherent, accurate, and relevant to your research question. What it says is, supposing I'm now in the field of environmental engineering, I can write a paper in IT, but I cannot make sure that it is coherent, accurate, and relevant because I'm clueless about that subject area. But in such a case, you can't use ChatGPT because there is no authenticity that you can check. So therefore, always make sure that you have to have a prior idea of your area of specialization or the topic in which you are going to write your paper. If you don't have the basic idea, still ChatGPT is going to be a black box for you. You may not be able to understand what it gives. So therefore, remember always the presumption or the prerequisite would be that you know your subject area prior to use of ChatGPT. That is very, very essential. Number four says refine the language and structure of the generated text and ensure that it is written in an appropriate academic tone. This is what is lacking in most of us. We think that our English is good. There are no grammatical errors, no spelling mistakes, no typos. Does not mean that your academic tone of that paper is right. So therefore, ChatGPT would definitely help you come out with the proper academic tone. That is something that you should learn, but it never comes to you easily as you go along in your career development. If you write the papers one after another, you will learn that art. So, but ChatGPT initially would help you reform your tone or the academic skill of writing journal papers. Number five says check the output for plagiarism and ensure that all sources are properly cited in accordance with the guideline for the journal you are submitting to. So we'll have to check the plagiarism, but remember most of what you use now will not be able to identify whatever the ChatGPT gives under plagiarism. But now there are certain search engines, the plagiarism checking devices or software would be able to identify whatever the sentences given by ChatGPT. So in future, you got to expect that plagiarism checker will definitely identify what is given by ChatGPT. But for the time being, you are safe. These days, you can be able to use without any issue at all. And finally, the proofread article thoroughly to ensure that it is free of errors and is ready for submission. That is very, very important because ChatGPT is not a software which can correct English. But what it does is it collates whatever the past information and give you in summary form. So therefore, English may sometimes be different. Sometimes it's a combination of British and American English. And sometimes still it can give you a couple of typos, sometimes even the grammatical mistakes as well. So therefore, whatever you get from ChatGPT needs to be checked, by a good software, English correcting software like Grammarly. So therefore, that is the final thing that you're going to do. Okay, so therefore, remember these steps are very, very important for you to make, apply, because blindly don't apply and then don't submit to any journal without checking every sentence by yourself. Right? That is a very, very important thing. Why ChatGPT is very popular among academia? When you look at ChatGPT these days, on average, it has increased to 30 million. 30 million people enter at any given time, using the ChatGPT in the world. So therefore, the demand increases day by day. When I started, it was actually 2 million. I managed to, be in the ChatGPT, platform for even a couple of hours continuously. But now it is not easy. Sometimes you might find that you find difficult to enter into ChatGPT platform, right? It's because too much of people enter, so therefore you are kept waiting. So therefore, that is what you need to, now basically face with. But if you go for your premium version, simply by paying $20 per month, such a thing would not happen, so that the people, those who have paid, will be given the priority. But still, I'm also using the free version, but there is no difference yet between the free version and the paid version. But only advantage for those who have paid would be that they are getting the priority. They need not to wait in the waiting list, and no sooner they enter, 24 hours, if they want, they can work with ChatGPT without any problem. So you might ask why I have not used this one now continuously, because they would not let you use continuously for hours. And also another disadvantage would be when you enter, say if you have not used for a couple of, let's say minutes, sometimes you get disconnected. When you get disconnected, you have to start again right from the beginning. So that is the very reason for me to start everything at my home. I have a good internet connection. But if the internet connection drops, never use ChatGPT, because once it is dropped, all what you've done up to that particular moment will be lost. Again, you need to start right from the beginning. Why? The basic premise is that this particular thing trains all what you give. Or it is based on your prompt, so that they cannot understand the prompt if the session breaks. So then you need to start again from the beginning. So you are wasting your time. So therefore, always remember, if you are to use the ChatGPT, just go to a place where there is no internet connection, interruption. If there is an interruption of the internet connection, you may not be able to use it efficiently. Keep that in mind as well. But we have to be cautious when using this chatbot. I always tell you that blindly you cannot use this. Later you will be able to say why, but make sure that to use this effectively, you have to apply yourself and get that experience. And all what I give today definitely would help you train yourself as to how to use ChatGPT effectively for your journal paper writing. When I say journal paper writing, I always pitch the highest level journal paper. I'm not talking of conference papers. I'm not talking of the impact factor low journals or conferences. Always I'm trying to pitch the highest level, or I would say basically more than 5 impact factor. That is what I'm now trying to train you using this chat GPT. Many needs clarification about whether to use it or not. Some are very, very, uh, I would say negative for the use of ChatGPT. But this has plus and minuses. So therefore, read this Nature article, and this article gives you what you can do, what you can't do. So that's why it says the promise and peril of generative AI software. So very nice article. I have given the first front page. You can download and then you can be able to read it. You yourself understand the things that you can do without any issue using the ChatGPT. But whatever said and done, in the foreseeable future, ChatGPT would have the highest number of citation. Like you and me, now we are trying hard to improve our citation numbers, right? We'll say if everyone is waiting when you start, as a novice, when you're going to get the first 100 citation, when you get the 100, 500, then 1,000, and then you're planning to go for 2,000, right? But in no time, ChatGPT would yield the highest number of citation a person can achieve for a given lifetime. How do you say that? Isn't this something we never dream of? Look at this paper. Now this paper, first author is ChatGPT 3. ChatGPT 3 is the earlier version of ChatGPT, right? It's GPT 3, right? So therefore, look at this. Now, is this ethical, or can the journal publishers accept ChatGPT as one of the authors or co-authors, or maybe the main author? How do we ensure the co-author approval? There is another paper here. There is another paper. First, the second one, you can be able to say ChatGPT generative pre-trained transformer. That is the first author. The question is, when you submit this into a journal, now usually you know that when you apply for a journal paper, so each and every author or the co-author has to approve. Now the question is, if you put ChatGPT as one of the co-authors, how you're going to get the approval? Right? But answer, even I don't know. Even I don't know what the answer would be. But still it is going on. Now this is a very good paper. It's basically, if you look at 1, 2, 3, number third, the author was ChatGPT, right? Look at number 4. It says OpenAI. Even it resembles a human being, and then address is given as OpenAI Inc. San Francisco, and what it says, it mimics a human. It mimics a human. So therefore, in future, sometimes ChatGPT may be a co-author for each and every person who writes papers. For you and I, both will, sometimes name the ChatGPT as one of our co-authors. Look at this. Elsevier seems to be a very good, publisher. Now, if you look at Elsevier, ChatGPT is one of the co-authors. So therefore, that is yet possible. But I don't know what will happen tomorrow, right? Because there are a lot of argument going on whether this is ethical. Can ChatGPT be a co-author? So therefore, so far, so good. But some of the search engines, some of the journals, the publishers have not allowed this. Now, say, for example, Nature Springer journals would not allow ChatGPT to be taken as co-authors anymore. Now, they have decided. So therefore, whenever you write to any journal paper, to any journal belonging to a Nature, Nature Springer categories, you are not supposed to, take the ChatGPT as authors. So therefore, it might differ from, journal to journal or the publisher to publisher. Now, this is what I say. Nature journals to reject any article written with ChatGPT. They can find it out now. Whenever you write ChatGPT, using the ChatGPT, they can, but it comes under plagiarism. So therefore, there are still methods by which you can change it. Or in other words, you use a ChatGPT to generate your sentences, and then you can go for paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is your sentence could be written by another way, without changing the idea of that sentence. There is an art of doing that one. So that it's not the English that you turn. It is what you do is when you look at a sentence, you get the keywords, right? Keywords you highlight, and you are trying to keep the keywords without changing the original meaning of the sentence. That is what is called the paraphrasing. But do not do the paraphrasing using ChatGPT. ChatGPT will also give you paraphrasing, but don't do the paraphrasing using ChatGPT. But you can use some other software like Writeful, and that could give you the sentences very easily. So therefore, there are ways and means of doing it. Right? So still using ChatGPT, there are some demerits that you can be able to get it. But I don't want to read one by one, but I will be asking to share this slides, all the slides with you to the management, so that you can read it, and then let's go to the next, because otherwise we don't have enough time. Is it your choice? Because question is everybody is asking, or many who want to use, they ask, is it ethical? Or is it, violating certain rights? Or are we bluffing? Are we conning? Or is this right? Can anyone bring us to courts? Likewise, there are many questions arising when you use the ChatGPT. But so far, based on the based on the existing law, there is no violation as such. You can't be guaranteed in future. We don't know, but so far there is no restriction of using ChatGPT for journal preparation. So therefore, why not give it a try? Because this would, make your life easy, saves a lot of time, right? And you learn something you don't know, even using this site. So therefore, with caution, I just want to say, why not give it a try? Now, whenever you say with caution, again, with that presumption that I made earlier, in other words, you got to be an expert in this field to apply the ChatGPT, because otherwise you have no idea what it gives. Sometimes you have to blindly agree on what it gives. So therefore, never do it. Apply the ChatGPT. I'm talking of only the journal publications, but not the rest, right? So therefore, don't misunderstand. This all what I say is only for the purpose of journal, the paper preparation. Okay, but you can use this for many other aspects, right? If time permits, we can be able to just discuss that as well if the time permits. Otherwise, for the time being, we'll focus only on the journal paper preparation. Let's focus on on title of your paper first. That is where you're going to start. That is where you're going to start. Now you can be able to see what you have seen, with this white color background is ChatGPT. The background, that is what you see, right? When you open ChatGPT, this is how you see, right? It's a platform in which you basically write your prompt. Now you can be able to see that it says enter a prompt with keywords. enter a prompt with keywords. Now I just asked, can you say, give me a unique title for a scientific journal paper, blah blah blah, and then I have selected a particular, the title. Can you say, so that I have selected title, and based on this title, I am asking, give me a unique title. Now it has given assessing the occurrence of ubiquitousness of BPA in surface water. I'm not happy with that. Then I'm asking again, give me another 5 titles. Sure, it says, here are 5 more potential titles for the scientific journal paper based on the given keywords. You can be able to see. Some of them are very elegant. Why this title is very important? Whenever you write a good journal paper, whatever the title you get it, you try to type it in Google search engine, or let's say PubMed or Scopus, wherever, or even in all of them, right, including Google Scholar. Type this and see whether you get similar one. Type this in all of these search engines. That is what I do. And then find out whether you can be able to find a similar title. If you find similar title, what does it mean? Your research is done by some other person or maybe persons. Meaning that all what you're going to do is in vain. No point in doing your research because it is basically done by some others. Right? So therefore, before you start writing your paper, ideal would be to find your proper title which is not written by anyone else. Because whenever you send this to any journal, remember, usually these days good journals will get, or editors in chief get more than 100 papers for a given day. Out of that, they can select, in nutshell, only maximum 10. 90 is going to be rejected. How? They have very good, software with which they can find out whether your title is done by someone else earlier. If it is done, one thing is your research is outdated, or you have started after a couple of years, after a couple of years of someone else's work. So therefore, no point writing a paper on that. Right? So therefore, that is one thing, or maybe one course where the editor-in-chief rejects your journal paper. So therefore, how to get away from that? Create, spend some time on your title. But remember, whenever you write a title for a journal paper, it has to be very simple. Never ever use words that are very difficult to comprehend. Right? So therefore, title should be very, very, simple. But it should not be done by, or it could not be found in any one of these search engines. Then only you are satisfied. Then only usually you can say that I'm trying to do original work. Otherwise, if it is going to be more or less same as what someone else has done, there is no way that your paper is accepted. So your paper will have more chance of getting it rejected. So therefore, keep that in mind. Number 2 says, ensure that the title you are interested in, what you have done. If not, change your prompt to reflect what you have done. That is most important. So therefore, the question you ask ChatGPT is prompt. Hereinafter, I will call it prompts. Please keep in your mind. You have to make sure that you put the right prompt. In this case, for the ChatGPT to give you the right title. So therefore, concentrate on what you have done and come out with that, because it cannot give you easily your title unless you give all keywords. So therefore, your objectives of your research paper you must remember, and then whatever your keywords must reflect in your objectives, and then your prompt should, tackle, or maybe I would say contain all the keywords that are reflected in your research, and then only you're going to get the right title. මට මම එක සිංහලෙන් කියන්නම් ටයිටල් එකක් හදනකොට ඔයා කරපු රිසර්ච් එකේ important keywords අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ පළවෙනි එක. මෙන්න මේ important keywords ඔක්කොම අපේ ටයිටල් එකේ රිෆ්ලෙක්ට් වෙන්න ඕනේ. අන්න එහෙම ටයිටල් එකක් අපි ලියලා ඒ ටයිටල් එකෙන් අපි ChatGPT එකට දාලා ඉල්ලනවා මේකට හොඳ ටයිටල් එකක් දෙන්න කියලා. right? එතකොට ChatGPT කිසිම වෙලාවක ඔයාගේ keywords අමතක කරලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයාගේ keywords ටික ඔළුවේ තියාගෙන තමයි ChatGPT දෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඔයාගේ title එක ලස්සන, ඔයාට ගැළපෙන title එකක් හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මේ හම්බෙන titles අපි එකපාර බාරගන්නේ නැහැ. අපි මේක අනිත් search engines Google Scholar, PubMed, Scopus ඒ වගේ එකකට ගිහිල්ලා පුළුවන් නම් ඔක්කොගෙම check කරලා බලනවා අලුත් title එක කවුරු හරි කලින් කරලා තියෙනවද ඒ වගේ ළඟින් හරි අන එක. If not, you are done. Meaning that you have now fixed your title. Right? So therefore, your first hurdle you pass without any problem. Otherwise, you're going to topple, at that level. But that is not what we want. That is how ChatGPT help you come out with the proper title. Because සමහරවිට අපිට අපේ ඉංග්‍රීසි ලස්සනට අපි දන්නේ නැහැ දාන්න. ChatGPT would help you, put that in a nicer manner so that everybody would understand it easily. So that title would, bring you a long way. Number 3 says, go and check whether similar ones are available with the other search engines. If yes, change it again to make your one unique. That's very important. Then number 4, or start with your own title. If you are very confident, you can go it with your own title as well. Now, first part with paper writing, important thing is to fix your title right. So that can be done easily with the ChatGPT. So let's give it a try. But I cannot go, after this, I can't again change. So since I want to finish first the presentation, let me finish first presentation, and then we go to ChatGPT search engine, and in the platform we will type each and every, so that you will be able to experience by yourself. You can read it at the same time, you will understand. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so this is first. What is our best approach? The best approach would be decide on the title of your journal paper. Now you know how to come out with your journal paper title. Focus on each part section separately. Now you can't ask the ChatGPT, give me a paper, whatever write up on your title. Now you know your title. So don't type your title and ask ChatGPT to give me the paper. It never gives you. Now you have to go section by section. First section of any journal paper would be introduction. Second, methodology. And then third would be, the results and discussion. And then comes the conclusion. Likewise, you can go section by section. Number 3, remember ChatGPT is conversational AI chatbot. So you have to train it with more chats or prompts. That is the art of getting the right stuff from the ChatGPT. You have to ask many questions, right? Never ever write a very abbreviated type of question and expect ChatGPT to give you what you expect. It never. You have to train. The more you give, the better the results is. That is how we work with ChatGPT. Number 4, start with the simple conversation and then plunge into deep conversation. So that is how we work. I will give you the example. I will do with you. You will understand later. Number 5, strike your luck with either American English or British English. there you have to, play a bit of a trick. Sometimes your area, let's say you're working in area, cyber security, example. Cyber security is quite famous in where? Europe or America? Europe, right? Europe, China, Russia, and Europe are quite, in advanced level. So therefore, you have to use mainly British English. But some of them, artificial intelligence, are quite, I would say, advanced in USA. So therefore, American English is important if you are going to use, anything on AI. So example I have written. So now my title is BPA, right? So look at that is one of these contaminant, emerging contaminant. So how I write is I can write BP is persistent, right? Again, BPA කියන chemical එක කොච්චර persistent වතුරේ හරි environment එකේ persistent කියලා අහන එක තමයි මම දාන්නේ. It can be BPA's persistence or it may be a persistence of BPA. First one is when I say BPA's persistence, is it American or British? Anybody who can tell me? BPA's persistence is American or British? Can somebody tell me? BPA's persistence is American, right? So therefore, persistence of BPA is British. So the way you write matters a lot, because as I mentioned, AI, this bot, right? So ChatGPT is not going to, get its own version. It is going to find from the literature. If the literature is written mainly using American English, BPA's persistence will be picked up by the ChatGPT easily. But when it comes to persistence of the BPA, then it may not be picked up easily. Right? So therefore, sometimes it matters. I tried quite a lot, but I was successful sometimes with the British English and sometimes with the American English. So therefore, it is your luck. That's why I say you have to strike your luck and say. Sometimes I write both ways. So therefore, it would give you more results, meaningful results. Number 6, do not hold your session until you achieve your target. That is a very, very important thing that you need to start. That's why I start. I'm not going to come to university to do this. I just want to, do everything at my home because my internet connection here is secured. But the moment it is not secured, no point in doing. You are wasting your time, because once it is get, stopped, and you got to start again right from the very beginning. So therefore, if you want to work with the ChatGPT, one of the prerequisites would be, make sure that your internet connection is very prompt or it's very secure, right? Or it does not drop. Number 7, if your session gets blocked in the middle of your exercise, you need to commence it again from the beginning. Right? So that is anyway disadvantage, but sometimes you have to do it. So let's give it a try. Let us try an example on the title, Occurrence, Persistence, and Ecological Risk of BPA in Surface Water. Now, this is one of the titles that I have been working these days with one of my PhD students. So that I just want to check this title with you. Let me come to this later after finishing, because, going here and there will not help me. First, I will finish the lecture and then we will go to the ChatGPT and then let's try. Now I'm going to focus, as I mentioned to you earlier, on introduction section. The first one is title. Now your second target would be what? Introduction section. That is your second. This is what you have to do. Ask to provide you with a simple introduction for your title. Now I am going to type give me the scientific write-up or on introduction title, you put your title and then it will give you simple introduction. Remember, it does not give you citation or references at all. It doesn't give you anything. Then what is important, you need to make sure that what is given there is cited, or maybe somebody would have earlier reported. That's what you need to find for the journal paper. Then what you do is, then ask the same with citation or references. Sometimes when you say citation, it won't give. But if you just, instead of word citation, if you just type references with evidence, it will give. Right? But same thing you can be able to get with the citation now. Number 4 says it will definitely give you citation with references to the text. Now you will get everything with the citation, but still you get only 400 to 500 words, which is not enough. The introduction would be like maximum 2000 2000 words, but you may get with simple request only 400 to 500. Then ask for the skeleton of your introduction, either from ChatGPT or you give your one, so that you will plan your paragraph easily. Now what you're going to do is, you are now trying to come out with your skeleton, or what each para is meant for in your introduction. Right? Now, when I'm talking of the BP, I'm trying to, first para would be global picture, or the manufacturing aspects of, the BP, and then the local statistics. That is number first para. The second para would be, where you can find the BPA, that is second para with the concentration. Third one is what implications you're going to have, with the use of BPA containing material. Number 5, what would be the risk that you will get for people and human and the animals. Number 4, the next para would be what you have done, or what is the usually you call the insights, what you get from your paper. And then last one would be your objectives. That is how I put my skeleton for my introduction. For every section, I can run this ChatGPT. Then it will give you good stuff, and then combination of all paragraphs, definitely you will be getting about 2000 words, your introduction complete. Right? So ask the same procedure for every keyword of each paragraph. Done. Usually this takes maximum 1 hour. Within 1 hour you can do everything. But now, impossible. Now what you can do is, until let's say 1 month back, you had no problem at all, right? But now you don't get the citations right. If you don't get the citation right, then how come you agree on the sentence? Whatever the information given by ChatGPT, within citation, it will give you citation, but unfortunately, if you go and find such citation, you can't find anything. Right? That has been purposely done by ChatGPT now. Why? Because they have been, stealing the journal paper data from other search engine. Now, if you write a journal paper to Elsevier, does it belong to you? Never. Even author cannot, get the rights, because you are going to sign an agreement so that it belongs to Elsevier. Right? So that the Elsevier journals all in one family. So therefore, they claim the ownership. But what ChatGPT is going to do is, ChatGPT is going to take from them ever since it is appearing in the internet, and then it gives like what ChatGPT has found. It is impossible, because it is violation of the rights. So therefore, most of these search engines, in fact, now they started, going or maybe suing against ChatGPT. As a matter of fact, ChatGPT has stopped giving the a right citation. But remember, they know the right citation, right? They know the right citation. That is what we call masking. But instead of giving the right citation, they give something bogus, something wrong, which never appears. So then nobody can bring that, the ChatGPT to quotes. So therefore, that is where you get stuck now. But information is perfectly correct, but the citation is wrong. Now, if you have to use this, you got to find out from where you have got this citation. So what I do is I'll take the information, put it into internet and try to get the correct citation based on the information. There are certain methods by which you can be able to. But if you can do that, you can now put the right citation, but not the citation given by the ChatGPT. Right. So therefore, remember, never ever rely on the citation given by ChatGPT. 99% wrong. Earlier days, 99% correct. But now you can't get it. So therefore, one might, you know, one might understand that the citation are not correct, so that you got to find the citation. But for that, you take time. Now you may not be able to do it within a day or two. It takes, days for you to find. Number 8 says, still you may not get the enough details so that you can ask for more elaboration. Now, still you might think that it is not enough, so that you can ask the ChatGPT, elaborate the write-up. So it will give you more. Number 9, then if necessary, you can ask for at least 2 recent citations for every sentence. If you want, you can ask for 2 citations of recent ones. But it will give you now. Unfortunately, citations are not correct. Number 10, now your introduction is ready for you to scrutinize. Beware of flaws in citation given, need extra effort to correct them. This drawback is called hallucination, right? Hallucination or stochastic parroting effect. That is the technical word that you have been using in this journal preparation. So, in particularly in when you write journals, you basically get caught to these two. අපි hallucination කියලා කියන්නේ අර imagination කරනවා කියන්නේ, right? Number 12, once the content is right for you, do the grammarly check. You got to do it. Remember that. Don't ever rely on ChatGPT's English, because it is not the ChatGPT, it is the collection of what other people write. So therefore, if they are wrong, ChatGPT is also going to give you something wrong. So therefore, we need to check using Grammarly. Finally, check for plagiarism. 14, you are now done with the introduction. Now you are done with the introduction. So that is how you finish your introduction part. If you follow all 14, you never go wrong. You're perfectly all right. The most difficult part now out of 14 would be to find the right citation. That is going to be very, very difficult. So then you're asking, it is at last your choice. Now, as I mentioned, now this has very recent one, and it says hallucination or the stochastic parroting is one of the demerits of ChatGPT. But remember, ChatGPT does it purposely, not because that they cannot identify the right citation, but they will, but unfortunately they cannot, just put it onto the web, the open web, so that the people would, sue against that, because that is a violation of a right. Someone else's property will be, stolen by ChatGPT. That you can't do openly. So therefore, this issue is still there. The hallucination or stochastic parroting examples, how to identify. Now you need to identify. Now look at this. Now I have asked a part of the introduction, that what I have given here. Now you can be able to see that this has citations. This is APP method, and you can see the citation, and under references it will give you all, right? But when you're looking at this, now you need to check whether the first one, let's say exposure of the US population to bisphenol A and four tertiary octyl phenols, 2003 to 2004, environmental health perspective, journal, all correct. But I just want to check whether this is correct or not. But what I do is I can read the title with the Apple Siri, right? It is, only seconds. What I do is I will ask Siri, exposure of the US. Listen what I do. Now I have the, the Apple phone, right? And then I'm asking Siri, exposure of the US population to bisphenol A and 4-tertiary octophenol. Sorry, I switch off the sound. Give me a minute. Huh? Give me a minute. Okay, now I'm asking again. Exposure of the US population to bisphenol A.
Here's what I found.
Can you hear? What it says is, this is what I found. Now I got this exact, similar papers, right? In Google results. Then I can go to one by one and see whether what is given there is there, right? So that I can very easily be able to find, right? So that is how we are going to, find easily using, another device, what you can be able to do. Now say that I will read it. It says exposure of the US population to bisphenol A and 4-tertiary octyl phenol, Poland 2003 to 2004. Anatolia M. Calfat. Same. Absolutely no problem. Now I got the paper even here in my, the phone. Likewise, I can ask everything. Now, second one, look at this second one. I can do like this. A review of the occurrence and environmental implications of BPA.
I found this on the web.
Can you hear? But when I went to that, I couldn't find that report, that paper. There is no paper as such. So therefore, that is a wrong title. Not the title, in fact, the reference. Or you can, if you don't have the Apple phone, you can very easily copy and paste in the Google or any other search engine. Then you can be able to find out whether they are authenticate or not. Right? So that is how we are going to find whether the citation given there is there or maybe not. But you get so many facts, right? Some facts. So look at this. Now here, I'm referring to this. I just want to, look at this. Right? Studies have reported the widespread occurrence of BP in surface water worldwide. For instance, a study conducted by Jia et al. 2021 in China found BPA concentration ranging from 0.19 to 3.92 milligram per liter in surface waters. I just want to check that because that is some statistics given. It would be very good. Now I just want to check whether this is correct or not. So then what you do? You type a part of the sentence from the introduction in Google. What I type is China found BPA concentration ranging from 0.19 to 3.92, right, nanograms per liter in surface waters. The moment you type this, you get the right paper. Look at the paper, right? And then I highlighted at the bottom. You can see in China BPA is. Can you see in China BPA, and then I in fact enlarge on the other side. In China BPA is up to 0.19 microgram per liter in the surface seawater, 3.92 microgram per liter in river, lakes, ponds. Look at the citation, Hong et al. 2012. That is the paper, but that is also chemosphere. That is also chemosphere. The earlier one is also from the chemosphere, right? What is given here? Look at the paper. This one. A review, whatever, it's given there. So that is what they have referred to, chemosphere, right? And then what I found here is also chemosphere. Now I got the right citation. So therefore, that is why I say that ChatGPT gives the information right, but they won't give you the citation right, but they mask it. They give something bogus, something wrong instead of that. Right? So therefore, if you know if you feel that the information given in that sentence is important, you can type the keywords from that, and then you can find the right journal paper easily. So therefore, that is what we do in finding the right citation now. Next, what you need to do is, as I mentioned, introduction part, I'm now going to split into small paragraphs. Look at my paragraphs. Global and local statistics of BPA. Why it is a problem. Occurrence of BPA in surface water and its implications. 4. Persistence of BPA and its implications. Ecological risk assessment and its significance. Why? Because my all three are there. Occurrence of BPA කියන්නේ BPA තියෙනවද කියන එක. Persistence of BPA කියන්නේ ඇති වුණාට පස්සේ long time ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩ කාලයක් ඒක තියෙනවා යන්නේ නැතුව. ඒක තමයි persistence. තුන්වෙනි එක තමයි ecological risk එක. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක ගොඩ වෙලාවක් වතුරේ තියෙනකොට සත්තුන්ට බලපාන හැටි. Look at my three keywords: occurrence of BPA, persistence of BPA, ecological risk of BPA on fauna. Those three are three paragraphs for me. Then number 6, insights into the study findings. 7, objective and justification. Why your study is important and novelty. Look at my 7 paragraphs for introduction. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this, what I did up to now for all 7 separately. And then I'm getting information on each and every subtopic. You don't write subtopic in the paper, but that is how you separate paragraphs in your introduction. Same is true even the methodology or even the results. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that is what we do. Let us try on the introduction part with an example of the title: occurrence, persistence, and ecological risk of BPA in surface water. Again, my title, I'm going back to that, and you can try one by one. Later we'll do. Then you go to methodology. Same thing. You apply the same theory, all what I explained for the methodology, you will be getting the right methodology. And I'm going to skip this one, it's no point. And then you go for methodology like this. Now this is one example. Look at, when I ask for the methodology, it will give you the methodology in steps. Then I can be able to improve this methodology so that this would help you identify correct methods by which you can, come out with the proper protocols. So therefore, even you don't need to, go for, the paper. But at the time of preparation, your proposal, you can find out your methodology or the protocol development very easily with ChatGPT, right? So that you will be enlightened of what other people have done. So therefore, that would help you figure out your methodology. Look at this. Even references are given. Even now, I will go one by one. Now, see, when I ask to exaggerate, they will give you first one: sampling. Collect surface water samples from various locations. This can be done using standardized procedure, such as grab sampling method to ensure consistency in samples. Reference is given. That reference is correct. Number 2, extraction. Extract the sampling using solvent that is appropriate for the analysis of BPA. This can be done using the solid phase extraction method. Perfectly correct. Reference is also given. Now you may be able to understand very easily one thing. whatever the references that are, not the property of any search engine or any publisher, you can get it right. Now look at the US EPA document, correct, because it is open. If anything is in the open, to anyone free, that is correct. So therefore keep that in mind. But if you are going to, get any information from a journal paper which belongs to that journal publisher, if it is not, published in open forum, so that you may not be able to get by ChatGPT, right? So therefore keep that in mind. So with that, you can be able to again find, some clues with regards to references or citation. Look at this. Give me types of visual props to be used for BPA levels. Very important. Now, most of you go wrong, and nowadays you don't know how to put across analytical data. ChatGPT would help you come out with how to present your data or visualization procedure. Now, look at histograms, box plots, scatter plots, heat maps, contour plots, violin plots. Each has different meaning, right? Because nowadays, data science is a priority. Without the proper visualization techniques, your paper may not be accepted easily. But what to do, how or which method is best can be very easily obtained from ChatGPT. Usually I ask, I explain what I did, and then I ask what are the best visual, techniques that I can, come up for the journal paper. It will give you like this. Then I have been using it. Now, how we are going to use this? You have a different software. ChatGPT would not be able to give anything using histograms, box plot, scatter plots. But nowadays, what is most famous? Anybody who can tell me? I'm trying to help you. That's why I'm asking this question. If you know the best visualization software used by many nowadays, after AI, inventing tools, the best is anybody who heard a software called Tableau? That is the one. Tableau, 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 right? You can go to internet, the YouTube, and then YouTube will explain you what Tableau is and what it can do. Any sort of visualization method, within split seconds, you can put it. Right? Your data may be in Excel, but they can, import the data from Excel, and they can give you very nice visualization pictures. And there are a lot that they can be able to do. So keep that in mind. The right, the visualization technique can be obtained from ChatGPT. That I do. I always do. So that is up to the very highest quality. Right. So therefore, we have to see how we can do. Now, these are some examples. Look at the scatter plots, then the bar charts, and then you get the, this one, if you look at very carefully, box plots. Now, in the box plots, you can see that there are certain dots outliers. Now, you hardly remove your outliers when you analyze your data. But with this way, you can very easily, remove, right? And then this is how to get the butt plot. So anything is possible with the Tableau, right? So that these are very easily presentable, and you know that when you are looking at the scatter plots nowadays, without this frequency chart, sometimes difficult for you to publish in very good journals, right? We hardly do it now. So these are your data, right? But you can see that there are some histograms here, pyramids like stuff. Those are, we call frequency drawings. And then where now if you look at this blue, now this one you can see that it is, basically scattered in a small area. That's why this is something like that. But look at the, the yellow or maybe orange one, scattered more, right? So likewise, you can see a lot of pattern with this one. So keep that in mind. ChatGPT would be able to help you select the right visualization technique. That is what I showed earlier. Now this is again some others. Heat maps. You see heat maps, you can be able to see, I mean violin maps. Perhaps you, for the first time, you might heard this, the violin diagram. So that is very, very important. That says how good you are when you're looking at your control and experimental. Are they in the same, the external and internal conditions? If you do not maintain, you get something different, right? All right. So therefore, this will help you go to the next level of presentation of your results, right? For a very good journal, you need most of these. Then let's focus on results and discussion. But when you are looking at the results, never ever ask results anything from ChatGPT. ChatGPT has no idea what you have done. You write your results by yourself. Use the results, whatever you write, ask for the discussion part. That ChatGPT would be able to give you. Hope you understand. The results, ඔයා තමයි experiment එක කරන්නේ, ඔයා තමයි දන්නේ results. පළවෙනි කෑල්ල ඔයා කරන්න ඕන ඔයාගේ results ටික ඔයා ලියන්න. ලියලා ඒ results ලියපු කොටස අර මම ඉස්සර කිව්වාගේ කෑලි වලට කඩලා ඒ පොඩි කෑල්ල ඔයා දැම්මම ChatGPT එකට ඒකේ discussion එක දෙන්න කියලා අන්න එතකොට ChatGPT ඔයාට discussion එක දෙනවා. That is how you are going to combine results and discussion section. Never ever expect results from the ChatGPT. It can't give you because it has no idea what you have done. But it can give you the discussion part or salient features, important information that you should put across under the discussion. So therefore, that is how you use. Then comes the discussion part. As I mentioned, same thing you can be able to do. So nothing different. And let us try on the discussion with the example. I'm going one by one. Now this is example that I want to do. Can you see what I asked for? Can you give me what I can infer from the following results? Now you see, I have typed the results. My results part I type within brackets. Can you see? Or within inverted commas. The average BPA levels detected in L1 to L16 were blah blah blah. And then based on the results mentioned in the paragraph, there are several inferences that can be made. Do you see? Now that is what ChatGPT gives me. But I'm not saying that each and every 5 bullets are important. Some of them are very important that I never thought. Right? So therefore, you can be able to get some of the discussions part easily from the ChatGPT in this manner. What can you request? For the discussion part based on the similar cases worldwide that I can use. Look at the question. Can you give me the discussion with references on the following results, taking facts from other countries? See, one by one I'm asking. Now this is what I found in Sri Lanka. Now now I need to compare. Can I get the similar results in other countries? Yes, so look at that. Very nicely it is given, but problem is citation. Now I need to find the right citation using some other technique, but you will be able to get whatever the information are right, information are not wrong, information are right, but I need to find the citations so that my discussion part would be complete. Let us try on the graphical abstract with an example. Now sometimes you see that you need to give graphical abstract, right? Particularly LCV journals, best journals, without the graphical abstract, you can't. That we have another, the software called Dell E2, again by OpenAI. This one you can download. Any drawing you can do. Anything that you want, you have to explain, you have to narrate in words, and it will give you. And then you can modify it, color it, and then change it. You can, get the isometric view scheme, and then the skeletal view, even 3D, and then, different elevations, upside down, anything you can do with whatever you develop. So therefore, this is what you get from the Dell E2 is unique only for you. Even if you develop it, you can sell. Absolutely no problem. But to come out with a proper drawing, you have to pay some cents, US dollars, depending on the bytes, number of bytes it takes, or how difficult it is to draw, you have to pay, but it is peanuts, right? So that Dell E2 would help you come out with figures, drawings, schematic diagrams, right? Or let's say even with the pencil drawings, you can come out. It will give you anything. So therefore, remember, if you have a free time, you try to make use of, Dell E2 to come out with your figures. This is one example. Now, this what you see is developed by a person using Dell E2. See, you can see very nice figures, right? All again based on deep learning. That is called convolution deep learning techniques. From that only you can be able to draw this. Now these are some of them drawn by various people using Dell E2. Now you might worry why you need such figures for your journal paper, but sometimes you need it for your graphical abstract. Now this one you can turn any direction. You can put to any direction, and then it will be good for sometimes your notes, short notes, lecture notes. You can get anything. What else you can do with ChatGPT? You can prepare recommendation letters. Now these days people are coming, asking many recommendation letters. Everybody wants to go abroad. Very easily ChatGPT will give recommendation letter, but not the same letter when you ask again and again. You get many different letters. You don't want to worry. There is no plagiarism when it comes to recommendation letters. Come up with keynote speeches. Any keynote speech that you want to make, ask, with the ChatGPT, and it will give even with the quotes. Even with the quotes. Quotes are 100% accurate. Prepare grant proposals. Very easily you can prepare grant proposal. So your research proposal. Prepare lecture notes. Prepare questions and answers. Learn novel areas of research. Learn how to come out with protocols for research. Paraphrase sentences. Prepare scientific newsletter articles. Come up with coding for machine learning algorithms. All possible with ChatGPT. So that I have been using for many. So therefore, it is not only for the paper writing, but during your career in research, for many other aspects, you can use this. But as I mentioned, it has to be, with caution. Thank you. Now we are done almost. Let us try, with the actual ChatGPT. That's what now I'm going to do it. Let me start that. I will stop sharing this. Okay, right now this is what you get. Those who know any idea, go to Google, type ChatGPT, and then you get this, and then you enter the button, you get this prompt or this picture, and it is developed by OpenAI. And then what you need to do is try ChatGPT. This is can you see that it pops up? Now you need to go there and then click this twice. See, you're done now. So that what you need is here there is a small box underneath. I have to type what I am now going to ask for. Now, as I mentioned, I'm now trying to focus on, the introduction. Title part I have already given. I don't want to, waste time. Let's say, give me an introduction on assume that this is my title. Okay, assume that this is my title. Now I'm asking, give me an introduction on this. So here I have embedded with the Ginger, one of the packages, because why? I don't want to type wrong the words, because since this is training, whenever you type wrong, it may cause some problems. So therefore, now look at, the moment you get this particular widgets, you just go and click. Not that again. It takes a bit of time because computer is slow. Now see, now it's going to give you. I'm trying to finish pretty fast. I'm not going to show you everything, but if you just get one, you may be able to see. Now see, it keeps typing. It is basically very slow because I already shared with you, so that's why it's basically slow. Otherwise it is pretty fast. All right, now this is how you're going to get it. Now let us look at, now I'm asking, give me the same with references. Now what has happened? Something went wrong. Now you can say that I have been cut off because at this time it is, basically, so that I had to start again. What I do is regenerate. Difficult. So then what I'm now going to do is I have to start from very beginning, right? So that I have to ask this again. I will, try to copy. We'll go back. I'll go there again. I will type again. See, it is pretty fast now. I'm asking, give me the same with references. Look at this. Can you see the references? APA methods, but this is not correct. Then you need to find out. What is, how to find out the right one? You see, keeps giving you. Look at the references. That is amazing. So that is amazing. But the thing is, they do purposely masking. So therefore, you may not be able to get the right name. Okay, but if you want, you can type again. Elaborate this section further. See, they certainly. Now they're trying to give you more. So always I keep doing this one for many times, at least 5-6 times. Why? And then they're trying to give you the highest quality. Initially, they are very general statements, but the more you ask ChatGPT to elaborate, it will give you more and more standard format of writing. And sometimes, if they don't have anything to give, they will say, no, I have no any other way of elaborating. So that's what they say. All right, okay. So you get the idea how you're going to get it, so that you follow the method that I have given you, and you can be able to develop like this. Now, next one, what I'm doing is, I'm now going to go similar method for each and every paragraph of interaction. Now, this is only general introduction, not useful at all. But why then I start like this? Training. I want to train this tool. Now, it basically understood my area in which I work. Then when I ask section by section, it will give you more precise data and information. Okay, it would give you precise data and information. That is the very reason for me to start with the very, I would say a simple form, and then I go deep and deep and deep to get exactly what I want. All right. Right. Since time has, gone, I would like to, just stop it here. Can we take one or two questions?
Thank you so much for the informative and nice presentation, sir. Shall I hand over, sir? You can ask any question. Clarify.
So I have two questions.
Yeah.
First one is, when it comes to the research and discussion, it is mostly related to the sentence-based inputs. So can we input the data as a table or in tabulated form and get an interpretation for our research mathematically using this software?
Not really. This cannot give you that, but what it can do is, if you give your data, they will give you how to analyze this data using some other. That is possible, right? So therefore, mainly what people ask for is, some kind of a coding. Now, if you have a data, if you want to, do some other analysis using Python, you can be able to do, so that they will give you the coding. You basically copy that and go to the one of the platforms, of Python, and what you libraries, and then you paste it, and that library itself give you all analysis, anything possible there. But what ChatGPT is going to give you is a coding. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. What is your second one?
So once we feed our data in sentence mode or anything, is there a chance for somebody to steal our data, or is there a security for our data when it
it is not possible for someone to steal. But remember, whatever your data will be stored in ChatGPT's computers, so in servers. So that is there. Sometimes they may be able to, later they may be able to get it. But as I mentioned, right at the moment, there is no facility to, just retrieve anything from your data, because after 2021, the ChatGPT cannot get anything. But later it may be a possibility. So therefore, my advice is do not give your actual data sets here, so that it will, keep, memorizing, but it never happens if you do not give. So that my understanding is you should not do it now.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Okay, researchers, do you have any questions to clarify with our experts? Due to time frame, actually, sir, we have to schedule another session to discuss further. However, last question from me. What could be the future of ChatGPT?
Future is, I do believe it's very bright, not bleak. But it's going to be paid version, in future. So I do believe that it would give you quite a lot of new information for anybody who is engaged in research, right? So as I mentioned, the question is, paper writing may not be that easy still with the ChatGPT, because other engines, search engines, all they have to close up their officers if they let ChatGPT do their job. So therefore, I don't think it is possible in future, or in other words, getting citation and all from someone else, the search engine is impossible with ChatGPT. But information wise, very good. I mean, without ChatGPT, people may not do research anymore in future, because it gives everything. You can find out. I mean, if you have a crazy idea, if you want to start up a research, you can get everything from ChatGPT. Now that is what I do. Whatever I do with my students, I'll basically type and I'll see whether people have done it earlier or whether it is correct. So many things you can get from ChatGPT. So the information seems to be correct, but problem right at the moment is citation. So therefore, do not expect citation or references from this one, but try to get the information and then make use of such information for the betterment of your, the research paper, or your delivery will be very good in that sense.
So one of our students has posted questions in chat line. Could you
Yeah.
please?
Sir, except iPhone, Siri, and Google search, is there are any other ways to recheck the citation in efficient way? I have not done by myself. There may be, say, for example, Google Scholar, you can be able to do it, but I did once in, the PubMed, I did once, and then it gives. But basically, Google, catches up everything. I don't think you are going to miss anything if you use Google. So therefore, make it simple and check with the Google and see whether Google would be able to find it. So that is the advice that I can give you for the time being.
Thank you, sir. Dear researchers, we have been running behind technology since we want to catch up with it. Therefore, we always try to keep pace with technology to get our needs done and work with it. However, technology is moving faster than all of us. Therefore, what we can do is to keep abreast with the ever-changing technology of the world. This effort is in that direction. Sir, thank you so much. And Ms. Gayatri, thank you so much for the valuable informative session. Dear researchers, we always appreciate your participation as well. Have a nice evening to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all participants. Good luck to all of you.